Good evening, everybody. First of all, I would like all of you to stand up and stretch. Just stretch like you wake up in the morning. You can twist and turn. Stretch, go all out. Don't feel shy, nobody is watching. Please sit. Now, the reason why I made you do this is because I like attention. And that gives me happiness. Now, why? Because time at the end of the day is very precious, is a limited resource we all have, whether we acknowledge it or not. And since I have only 15 minutes with you people, I want to make the most of it. And I know you guys have been here throughout the day, so at times your mind becomes a little saturated. Making a physical change will help you to become attentive. It alerts your mind. So this is a little tip that you all can use if you, whenever you're working, wherever you're working, with your children, if they're not paying attention, you see that, okay, their mind is wavering, right? So this is a good tool to apply. Now, what does happiness mean? And why are we pursuing happiness all the time? When I do workshops and when I ask people, so what do you want out of life? What do you want from life? So if I ask you, ma'am, what would your answer be? Happiness? Okay. What about you? Contentment. Okay, so basically, you see, most of the people will say this. Now, I would like to disagree with you, with all due respect. Now, why? Because in life, if you're continuously happy, what does that mean? That means you have some mental disorder. You can't be happy all the time, right? If somebody says something to me, if I'm insulted, if I go through a life event where I lose somebody, God forbid, I can't be happy at that time. So why this pursuit of happiness? So I would like for all of you to shift your thinking a little bit and acknowledge the fact that in life, there will be unhappiness and there will be happiness. If you do not experience unhappiness, you will not know so it's two sides of the coin, you see? Everybody with me? Yes? All right. So now, then why are we here? Why am I here talking about happiness? Right? When life nudges you towards unhappiness, we have to pull ourselves back and be happy. Now, how to be happy in the face of negativity? COVID, everybody faced what they faced, right? We lost a lot of people, our friends, relatives, etc. We were stuck. I mean, I don't need to enumerate that. Now, with those circumstances, there were people who thrived. They actually thrived. Now, what is the science behind that, right? There is an event that happens in life. Event was COVID, everybody faced it. My reaction to that and your reaction was completely different. Now, who is speaking the truth? Like I say that I enjoyed COVID. I created Dr. A Talks, I studied my psychology, so on and so forth. But some people were miserable. There are relationships that broke, right? What is the difference? The difference is your perception to the negative or a positive event. So event is an event. There is no positive or negative to it. We give that meaning to it. Now, some might say that, what about losing somebody who's near and dear? Now, that is a very unfortunate event. But is there anything that we can do about it? So yes, you go through grief. However, that grief has to last a certain period of time and you have to come out of it because you are alive. You are alive and you should celebrate the life of the person who's no more. Right? Easier said than done, I understand. I completely get it. Okay? So that is my thought process where happiness is concerned, that yes, we should look towards happiness, but not say that, oh, I'm going to be happy throughout. When there is a negative event, go ahead, cry, sob, shout, scream, feel frustrated. It's all right. But after that, come out of it. and come out of it stronger. All right? Always treat a failure like a learning. What did you learn from it? Now, at that point, perhaps you will say that, nahi hoga mere se. I can't do it at that point. And that's okay. But at some point, you will come out of it, right? Then you ask yourself, do this exercise, what was the learning from this? So there's a lot to learn. And maximum growth, according to me, happens after a negative event. Success and failure, you learn a lot more. It's a better teacher, failure, right? Now, I have developed something called as 8 Infinite, which are 8 pillars of well-being. And if you take care of these 8 pillars, there will be well-being in your life, okay? I'm not using the word happiness because I just said that happiness is one part of the game. Now, what are these 8 infinite and why infinite? The reason why I call them infinite is irrespective of where you are on that pillar, you can always go to the next level. Okay? So what are these 8 pillars? First one is physical. Very easy to understand. You've got to look after your body. Health is wealth in true sense. We all have learned that. So I treat my body like a temple. Will I put garbage in that temple? No. Right? Will I look after it? Will I keep it clean? Yes. Right? So looking after your physical health is very, very important. I do a lot of work where longevity or anti-aging science is concerned. Now, a couple of things that we don't pay attention to is your spinal cord health, which means the flexibility of your spinal cord. If you think about it, if you look at an old person who's not really looked after himself or herself, don't they look shorter than what they were? Because your bones tend to shrink, they bend, right? So flexibility of spinal cord is something that you must guard with everything that you have. The second one is muscle loss. When you grow older, the muscle loss becomes quicker and you have to preserve your muscles if you want to live long. Okay? So strength, stamina, and flexibility. These are the 3 things that we should work on where well-being is concerned of your physical, that vertical. Okay? The next one is your brain or emotional health. So brain, I've divided it into 2. The second one, let's take emotional well-being. Emotional well-being is equally important, especially if we are pursuing happiness or well-being, right? If I'm not feeling all right, I'm not going to be able to do anything. So what are the steps? You got to figure out for yourself or with the help of somebody like me or your friends or whoever, can help you, that how do you seek happiness or emotional well-being? Okay, because emotions make a very strong component of us because we are human beings. A lot of people ask me, oh, you're a psychologist, so you must be getting out of it so fast. I'm like, no, I have emotions and I have to acknowledge that. If I feel bad, I allow myself to feel bad. So acknowledging your emotions becomes the first step towards emotional well-being. Yoga is the best. Yoga by far is the best. And one more thing where yoga is concerned, from what my experience has been, yoga is the only form of, I don't know if I can call it an exercise, is that truly an insult to call yoga exercise, that actually works on your internal organs. So it's a very beautiful science, I would say, right? Now, the third pillar, and I can speak for hours on these 8 pillars, but again, we have limited time with each other. So the third pillar is intellectual. Now, my kids always ask me that, Mom, why are you giving exams? Give our exams. Because I gave my last exam just 6-7 months back. And now I'm studying behavioral economics. So they're like, give our exams. And I'm like, no, my brain is the most precious organ that I possess. And my goal in life is to keep my brain active as much as possible. So dementia is a very powerful disease which nobody talks about. Whether it's Alzheimer or Parkinson's, all these come under the umbrella of dementia. So preserve your brain, and you don't need to give exams like me, I'm a nerd, but study something, do something different. Tonight when you brush your teeth, hopefully you all brush your teeth in the night, use your non-dominant hand. Don't brush with right hand if you're right-handed, use the other hand. See how it feels. It feels very different. If you go to office every day, take another route. Learn a new language. I mean, I know you have heard all this, and Instagram is full of these tips and tricks. But make use of that. Learn a new language. Learn how to knit. Study a new subject. Right? So by doing this, you will keep your brain active. Eat food, we will come to the nutritional pillar also. But in this, eat food which is brain healthy. Okay? So that's your emotional well-being, intellectual well-being. Next is social. I will not talk much about social well-being because we all know we need friends. We need family. For well-being, loneliness is a killer. So be careful. Nurture those beautiful relationships. And you don't need 10,000 people. You need those few people that you know at 2 a.m. you can go and call. All right? So that is social. Make sure, that is my weak point because I like to study, I like to read books, I like to watch Netflix once in a while. So I have to make that effort to be social. Yeah? So that's the other pillar. The next one is environmental. Now, by environmental, I don't mean be a tree hugger. If that's this thing, then that's fine. But what I mean by environment is your home. So it could be your bed or side or whatever. If you're a hoarder, then be careful with it because it reflects on how you feel. If you donate things which you don't need, you automatically start feeling lighter. When you clean your house, I'm sure you all will agree how it feels, right? It feels very good. Yeah? And not only house, then you extend it to the outside of your house, your building, your lobby, etc. And then if you all are environmentalists, there's nothing like it. So whether it's use of plastic or recycling or upcycling or whatever it is. Yeah? So environment is another aspect of well-being. Keep a small potted plant. I mean, those flowers look so beautiful on the table. Now imagine the table without those lilies. Would look very dry, isn't it? So these little things which add to the environment. So make use of these small things to feel good. Okay? So now we are done with physical, emotional, intellectual, social, environmental. Next is nutritional. So what I say is you are what you eat and you are what you think. Both are equally important. So what do you eat? A lot of times my sister's constantly trying to lose weight. She's like, I don't eat much, I just eat one chapati and I don't eat any carbs for dinner. So I said, how about this? Let's do a food audit. Everybody knows what an audit is. You all, I challenge you, next 4 days, do a food audit. In your diary or wherever, just note what you're eating, at what time and what the quantity is. You'd be surprised. A lot of us graze. I call my sister grazer. Aate jaate, kuch dekh liya, kha liya. It adds up. Yeah? So very important to look at the quality and the quantity of the food that you consume. So that is nutritional. If you have any deficiency, make sure that you take those supplements. Yeah? Then is financial. Now this is again one of my weak points because I say this, that when God was distributing the financial brain, I was perhaps sitting under a tree and reading a book. Right? So I will not talk too much about financial, but yes, financial planning is important. It's better to be unhappy with money rather than not. Right? So do whatever is needed. I'm not going to take that right now. How many are remaining now? Anybody making a note? Okay, spiritual. Yes. So what is spirituality? Is it meditation? Is it religion? Is it faith? What is it? What does spirituality, sir, what does spirituality mean to you? No, you don't look behind. Yes, yes. I love this. It always happens, right? You ask a question, no, not me. Absolutely. So today what is happening is with the advent of all these screens and social media and everything, we are going away from ourselves. Earlier, I don't know how many people have realized this, that when we were kids, we used to daydream, we used to get bored, we used to stare into the sky. In a classroom, you're sitting and you are somewhere else. Today, when I go to a restaurant or even in a gathering like this, so many people are not paying attention to what they should pay attention to. They don't let themselves get bored. It's very important for your health. It's very important for well-being. It's very important for happiness, right? So let yourself, allow yourself to daydream. Allow yourself to just get bored. Do that with your kids, please. Constantly. And it really hurts me when a mother of 1-year-old comes and says that my child can swipe. I'm like, no, that's not a good thing. Give him clay. Let him play in soil. Let him climb trees. हाथ गंदा हो जाएगा, बीमारी हो जाएगी. No, it's very good for you. As in whoever's playing in the soil, right? Or whoever's climbing the tree. So allow that. Nature is a big healer. So grounding is something that, I'm going a little off topic, but grounding is something now Westerners are coming and telling, and that's another aspect, right? That we have everything with us, but we need that approval from there to say that this is good. So grounding is something that we always did, right? As kids and whatever, we would be bare feet roaming around. We never wore chappals and shoes and stilettos, right? That connection with the earth is extremely healing. Unfortunately, I am still trying to look for a place close to my house which I can connect. There is no soil left. It's all, cemented, etc. But if you can do it, it's very, very powerful way to reduce the inflammation in your body. Yeah? So, 8 done? Yeah. How much time do I have? 1 minute. Perfect. So, just think about these buckets. The trick to fill up these buckets is identify what your weak point is. Because we are weak in some we are doing all right. And this can shift. This balance can vary. Okay? Identify that and then work on it so that that bucket becomes full. And you will see the difference. It's like this. If my hand is fractured, okay? And I say, yeah, I'm going to my office. Will I leave my hand at home? It will come with me. The fractured hand will come with me everywhere. Whether I'm shooting, whether I'm giving a talk like this, or whether I'm chilling at home. What about fractured mind? Right? If you have any issue, it's fractured mind. You will take it everywhere. Will you be living a fulfilling, a happy life if anything is wrong in any of the buckets? You can't, right? So pay attention to these today or whenever you can. Please do this exercise. Write down these 8 points and figure out, make a star that this is fine, give 5 stars or however, whatever method you want to use and start working on it, and then you'll be happy. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Amul.
Thank you so much.